Hello everybody, this is Juice, your local neighborhood beaner here, and I'm here to apologize for all us Mexicans. I'm also here to be the voice of reason and your inner voice of hatred if you are not Mexican. Anyway, I'm here with my co-host, Reen. What's happening, Reen?
My eye. Are you apologizing for the eye poke?
No, I'm not apologizing for shit. Well, I'm not apologizing for anything regarding the fights. I'm not. I'm apologizing for those savages in the crowd.
I was actually wondering if you were going to apologize.
Oh, fuck yeah. Listen, people, I joke a lot. Yes, I do. And they are jokes, but I think most good jokes have some truth to them. And there is some truth in what I say. And yeah, the reason of why I quote unquote talk shit about my people is that they do some real trashy shit. And I'm aware of it because I've grown up around it. I've seen it all my life. And you saw a glimpse of it on Saturday night. That's the kind of shit that happens all the time at sporting events. That's the kind of shit that happens at soccer. In fact, it gets worse at soccer in soccer matches. And yeah, that's just standard operating procedure. And I've never appreciated shit like that. And I gotta give props to most good Mexican fans I know, and most good people on Twitter, Mexican people on Twitter that were actually disgusted and talk shit about these people, and they weren't all apologizing like some people that I interacted with on that particular night. Props to you guys. I mean, you have guys like Eric 303. When Eric 303 is the voice of reason, you know you're fucked up.
There's problems.
Yes. People that honestly, I'll be honest, some of these people I was surprised by. I'm like, I was not expecting them to take the high road here, but I'm glad. I'm glad. This isn't a thing of like, oh, you know, people saw this and I'm gonna apologize and feel all ashamed. And I'm ashamed of this by myself, seeing it my whole life. I'm not at all upset that white people and white America or just America in general and other parts of the world, they're now, more privy to this behavior. But yeah, it's been going on for fucking decades. And yeah, as far as the soccer thing, as I said earlier about it being worse, if some of you don't know, and I guess some people have alluded to it during the week. Yeah, it is common practice to throw bottles of piss at the players in soccer matches. So I hope, and I don't think anyone got pelted with piss on Saturday night, but just know that is a common thing down there.
That's so crazy. I hope that didn't happen either. Yeah, it was awful what happened at the end.
Yeah, it really bugged me. Obviously, this is the sport. This is a sport I love, quote unquote sport, whatever you want to call it. It's one of the few things I watch, and it sucks seeing it bleed over into something that I'm really fond of. But Mexican's gonna be Mexican, so the fuck can you do? I was not at all surprised by it, and Reen, we were talking off air. I guess you weren't either.
No, I wasn't surprised.
Which goes to show how you've grown up and who you've been around. And I'm saying this is like, this is for those thinking that this is a thing just in Mexico City, because I've seen even Mexican people like, oh, well, that's how chilangos are. Chilangos, for those of you who don't know, is basically what you call a transplant in Mexico City, because Mexico City is very much like LA, where not a lot of people that live there are actually from there. And those people, the transplants, we call chilangos. And they're well known. This is the stereotype. I'm not saying that this is the truth, but they're well known for being loud, obnoxious, rude, and scoundrels, thieves, shit like that. So even, people like my parents, Mexican people that saw that, they're like, yeah, it's common for the chilangos. But that's not even true, because I've seen things like that happen here in my hometown. Even places not that far from me. This happens all the time here. If you get a group of Mexicans and they get drunk and rowdy enough, shit like this is bound to happen. It's just the way it goes. So all this shit that they were just drunk and they were mad because the main event ended the way it ended, and yeah, it was a bad ending and whatnot. But just know this is standard operation procedure, and I hope that shit like this gets him to change. I mean, this is shit that has been around for decades, so I know one fight, one event down there is not going to do it. But I hope little by little they start getting it.
Yeah, that was a crazy reaction. They even poured beer on Carlos Esparza. Who knows what's going to happen if they go out there again? I think there's a contract with Mexico, right? So they have to. They
I don't
can't
know.
avoid it.
I don't know about a contract.
I thought they had so many fights in each country or something.
No, I think that gets sorted out like amongst
Oh, okay.
themselves. That's like a yearly thing. I mean, like the reason they go to New York so often, it's just because it's a good market. Like they basically come to SoCal every year.
Hmm.
It's a good market. So I mean, Mexico I'm sure is a decent market, but I mean, is it worth that trouble now?
Yeah, well, they're building a PSI, right?
Yeah, the PI.
Or PI, I mean.
I think they still are. I don't think they're gonna burn it down now. You know, I'm sure Trump's getting troops down there to see what it really is. He probably thinks that there's just, they're making fucking cannons and all kinds of shit to send drugs and rapists over the border or whatever he thinks. But yeah, no, yeah. Last I heard, they're still doing it, and I think it's a good investment for the fighters. Obviously, we see that there's a lot of talent down there, but yeah, and you know what? I actually right before we got online, right before we started recording, I was going through some tweets from that night, and I was surprised there was a lot of actual Mexican fighters, not fucking Cain Velasquez or Brian Ortega or these fucking pochos. There's a lot of actual Mexican fighters that were very upset and disappointed at the fans with how it ended. And like that's the kind of shit I love. I love that the people that are actually from the country that know how they are, that know how things get, were actually embarrassed and ashamed of that. That's good. It seems like it was, even Yair, is an actual Mexican, with his shit of how he dealt with the fight ending and basically kind of rallying them up. It just wasn't a good look, man. I don't get what he was trying to achieve. I understand he was emotional, but he just got way in over his head. Ugh, no.
See, with him, I chalked it up to like, yeah, he's being young. Yeah, he's a baby. He's 25, right? I think he's 25. Yeah, and he's just emotional. His family's there. And I
Max
kept on seeing like other reports, and I'm like, oh my God, and videos of him just acting up. I'm like, okay, you need to calm down now.
Max Holloway is what, a year or two older than him, and he's got his shit together. I
Hmm.
don't know. I mean, I know Hawaii's rough. I'm not gonna say Mexico's rougher or not. I don't know, but I'm sure they come from similar backgrounds. But look at the way that you're, and then I don't know. I was even having a discussion about something like this with my girlfriend about, he's a traditional martial arts guy, and to be honest, some of those guys are fucking weirdos. When you grow up your whole life doing that shit, you tend to be a little fucking weird. That's why it's so awkward. That's why it's so kind of strange that Lyoto Machida is as normal as he is for as much as you could put normal. I mean, he did drink piss for a while, but I think he's given all that up.
I hope.
Yeah, I think so. I don't think piss is good for you into your 40s. Maybe in your 20s and 30s, but not your 40s.
That shit's funny. Yeah, that's what Steven said too. Like, I'm not into that traditional martial arts. I'm like a street guy. I'll fuck you up. Yeah, this is gonna be interesting now that it's rebooked.
Yeah, and we're gonna go into more details with that. We haven't even gotten officially into the rewind. We will in just a second here. I just want to say, as far as the whole backlash and all the things I saw online and whatnot, I just want to save the last bit of peace for some of you Americans, some of you non-Hispanics, some of you non uh, Mexicans, whatever. Some of you white people out there, some of y'all got real racist, and I don't appreciate that shit either. I can say being or you can't. Not that I saw many people saying shit like that, but I seen some very demeaning things of if you call them trash, if you call them savages, I'm not at all upset by that because that's how they acted. I saw a tweet something along the lines of like, "Oh God, this is so disgusting. UFC should never go back to Mexico City again." And why don't these people go back to painting houses or something? Saw something
What
along.
the fuck?
I did,
Really?
yeah, yep,
Oh my god.
I did.
I hate that. Oh
I did,
Jesus.
and I do not remember the name, and I will not even say it out loud. I will not. I'm not gonna put this person on blast, and I'm not gonna shame her either. But it was a white girl. Oh, I think she was from Sacramento too, Reen. So there's that out there.
Oh shit. You
But
know, we talk a lot of shit too, but
no, I'm not even saying this. I'm not even making her guilty by association or nothing. I'm just saying. But I set her ass straight. I said, hey, you can judge them and not be all shitty about it, Miss High and Mighty. So something along those lines, and she actually apologized. So, I mean, there's that. So that's why I don't want to actually say her name out there because for what it was, I guess
interesting.
it seems like she apologized. But
Mhm.
yeah, it's funny how people's real feelings came out, and that's cool. I'm here for that. White people, I'm here to be your voice of inner hatred. You can voice your hatred through me, but don't cross the line. There's still some lines in this shit. Yes, even I have them once in a while. And it's with me, it's not names that get to me. It's not slurs that get to me. It's how you treat people. And when you treat people, regardless of who they are, there's nothing that pisses me off when you treat somebody like they're the help. That shit pisses me off to no end. So you can call them trash, sure, they're being trashy, but don't demean them as if they're nothing more than a helping hand. Go fuck yourself.
Nice. You know what? This was actually kind of tame. I thought you were gonna be like going off.
Yeah, I thought about it, but you know what? I'll be honest. I kind of got to thank that white girl, whoever she was, because it kind of put some things into perspective. I wanted to go off and fucking bean her this and spick that and all that. In my heart, inside, I wanted to say all these things. But then seeing all this shit, it put things into perspective of, you know what? There's some people who are going to get way too much joy out of it. And there's calling out, and then there's just doing the dirty work for people who are too cowardly to do it or just, you know, revel in this type of shit. So I decided to push back a little bit. So this is as aggressive as I'll get for right now.
Interesting. Okay. We're ready to move on then. You
Yeah,
got the vent.
I'm
You feel
done
better?
hating. I'm done hating. I'm done with the racism for right now. We're gonna talk about some more racism later on in our news story. But yeah, let's crack this shit open and get into it.
It
Let's
got a
get
little serious.
yeah. Let's get into the review. Let's get into a rewind of UFC Mexico City. So I know you were happy at the beginning of the card, Rain. Bet Correa won.
I was happy about it?
You
Not
should be.
really.
You should be. You keep on being proven wrong. You keep on doubting her. You keep getting proven wrong. When will you learn? When will you learn, woman?
Man, it's crazy too because she was actually sick on fight day.
Seems like she wasn't the only one either. That's not just altitude sickness. I think there was some fuckery going on.
Wait, because she's Brazilian, they poisoned her food?
I don't think the Brazilian has much to do with it. I think just the fact that she's a foreigner. She's a non-Mexican. That was enough reason.
They have the same hatred as I do for Correa. That's
no,
why.
you know what? I think hers was just bad luck. I mean, she was fighting Eubanks. It's not like she was fighting a Mexican fighter, you know. I guess she's more Mexican than Eubanks. I mean, she's technically Latina, you can say, but yeah.
Man, yeah, Eubanks, she let me down. But I mean, you know, okay, I'll give her props. I did it off air too, and I'll do it now as well. I'll give Betch Correa props. She always gets them somehow. She suckers them into like fighting their fight. I mean, fighting her fight. Like, why? Eubanks did so well in the first round. You know, got her down, ground and pound. Like, she was fucking beating her the fuck up. It's too bad that there wasn't enough time left to like actually finish her because it looked like if she was capable of doing that in the first round. She was really close.
Yeah, I'm telling you, Kohei is just awkward. It's just I mean, there's so much more to fighting than just, oh, I'm a good wrestler, so I'm gonna take her down, or I'm a good striker, I'm gonna outpoint her, oh, I'm gonna stick and move, that whole type of thing. I mean, there's a lot of elements, and Correa just being so unconventional just makes you doubt yourself.
Well, what is it though? Like everybody knows that she only has one game. She moves forward. She wants to brawl with you. Everybody knows
Not,
this.
not necessarily though, because she has good counter punches. I mean, is she Valentina Shevchenko? No, but she hits hard enough that she makes you respect her.
Well, it's the same game, man. Same old game.
To be honest, her game is kind of, I don't want to go as too far to say it's high level, but it's layered because she
Hmm.
has a way of moving forward and a way of moving backward. Because yeah, she doesn't mind a brawl, but it's because she can counter well. So she can counter you if you're coming forward, if you're coming in too hard, but she's also down to exchange.
Yeah, crazy. That girl with the big old head. like, like, how could you miss it with your reach, Eubanks? Come on.
I've been telling you there's more to it than reach, but you don't want to believe me.
Yeah. So, good job, Betch. I don't know what it means. I mean, what's going to happen with her next? I have no idea. I mean, she moved up in the rankings, so whatever that means for her.
Yeah, I mean Eubanks. I mean, you got to remember she's still coming off that fight with Ladd. That was a great fight, and she was pretty high up there at flyweight. So I mean, she'll get back up there. 135 is still kind of weak. So yeah, I think she'll go back up there. I was just surprised at how she looked. I mean, not to be mean, and I'm a fat piece of shit myself, but man, she did not look good. Like, yeah, you're talking about her cardio, but physically, like she had some rolls, and she looked overweight. It just, I don't know. I don't know if that's explaining the cardio. Maybe she cut too much weight. She kind of got out of shape and spent more time cutting weight than training. But yeah, that she looked way out of her element and not herself because she's usually a fucking break shit house.
Hmm. Maybe it's just too much. The weight cutting. Because she just had a fight. She was already back in action again. Maybe it's just too much for her. She's her age too. She's 37. She's getting
Eubanks
up there.
37?
Yeah, she's
No, I thought she was like 33, 34.
no. Let me check.
I
I thought
thought
she
it
was
was her.
37.
I thought it was her early 30s.
No, she's up there. Yeah, I think now she's like ranked number 15. She's still under the rankings, but who knows how much more time she has left.
Are you looking at the rankings right now?
No.
Oh,
Uh-uh.
okay. Last you checked, is Ketlin Vieira still in there?
Oh, she's 34. Okay, I thought she was 37.
That's still not
Um,
young, but yeah.
no. Caitlin Vera. I don't remember. Let me see. Yeah, she's number two.
Jesus Christ, dude! I love that girl. I think she legitimately might be the future. I'll say it right now. I think she can legitimately give Amanda Nunes problems if she's the Caitlin Vieira I saw fight Kat Zingano and Sarah McMahon. But I don't fucking know anymore. Where the fuck is she?
Oh, who knows? Witness protection? Like, what is she doing?
Oh, she's dating Takashi 69.
The
Things are making sense now.
hell's going
Uh,
on with her? I mean, even Juliana Pena came back.
yeah, I mean, yeah. I mean, that's a different story, but it's like, dude, that she's so promising. I don't know. I hope she comes back sooner rather than later. But when she comes back, I just hope people remember her, man, because she's so talented. She's so fucking talented. Like, I think the sky's the limit for that girl. And yeah, it sucks. It sucks for seeing her out of action because yeah, now we're kind of just rehashing stuff. I mean, props to Durandame. Obviously, she's still talented, she's still good, but we're gonna see Durandame versus Nunes again. And Holly Holm just lost, and I'm not gonna say she's a top contender still, but I mean, she's taking a fight against Pennington, and who knows if she wins that fight? Who knows where that's gonna lead her? Like, it just seems like it's just gonna be all the same old shit. Um, following up, following up on bantamweights, Irene Aldana has a fight. She was a fighter covered last week. Her fight against Vanessa Mello, won a unanimous decision. Pretty good performance. I mean, I didn't see many flaws in it.
It was a clinic.
It was. I mean, Mello though, she talk about didn't she come in overweight? Wasn't she like 5 pounds overweight?
Was she?
Yeah, and yeah, I okay, yeah, now I remember. Yeah, because
Okay.
when I saw her, and I mean, granted, she took it on what a week's notice, but when I saw her, I'm like, dude, this girl was on the couch. Like you see her thighs, and you see, I'm like, man, she was you know, yeah, she wasn't in shape. She wasn't training this whole time. Props to her for taking the fight, but when I saw, I'm like, oh, that's where those 5 extra pounds are. Like it's obvious.
Yeah, well, she like fought 3 times already. She had just fought again in July, and she's stepping in for this, so I'm pretty sure she just wanted to fucking like just sit back and not do anything.
She probably wasn't thinking about fighting maybe even this whole year from here on out, huh?
Right. Yeah, so and then here's this opportunity to step in and get a contract. She did well, I thought. I mean, considering she's a tough girl, man. But
Yeah, I kind of think if she did come in on weight, if Aldana maybe could have even knocked her out, because that extra weight helps you with absorbing more blows and whatnot.
mhm, so but yeah, good for Aldana, man. That was fun. Got
She
to
she
see like
showed
a different side of her.
exactly that's what I was about to say. She's got some new tricks in the bag.
So hopefully she can keep up with that. I don't know. I was thinking like, who should she fight next? Like the rebook the Mary Renault fight, or like fight Yana Kunitskaya, or like
Uh,
just jump up a little bit.
I'm not at all mad at Renault, and I almost forgot that was the original fight.
Mm-hmm.
Um, yeah, I'd be down for that. What was wrong with her? Do you remember
God damn
what
it, I
made her pull
forget.
out?
I forgot.
I mean, I don't know. It was basically the week of the fight. It could have been damn near anything, and it's not exactly like Renault's young either. But I'm actually
Mhm.
glad you mentioned that. I actually want to give a shout out. This is our tweet of the week. I just followed this guy. Seems like he's Mexican. He's got a Mexican enough name. Luis Garcia Romero, and his tag is one Luis 8. And he tweeted, "Would it be possible to have Venezuelan Vixen Juliana Pena versus Irene Aldana before the end of the year? I think it makes a lot of sense. Derendami is going to fight Nunes. Ketlin is out. Home versus Pennington. Lad versus Kunitskaya. So why not Juliana versus Irene?"
Dude, I don't know if that's too much too soon right now. I like it.
I mean, I think
Oh,
scheduling wise, it would work. And I
yeah.
say that I'm gave that dude a shout out because it was actually thought provoking. I hadn't thought of too many fights, and I'll be honest, I do look out for Irene. She might be my favorite Mexican fighter, even more than Grasso. Um, I don't know about more than Brandon Moreno because we're gonna get into him in a second. But yeah, yeah, I really like her. So I don't always want to put her in these fights where I thought she's gonna lose. Like I'll be honest, when she fought Leslie Smith in her debut, I was psyched because Leslie Smith is maybe not my favorite female fighter. I mean, top two or top three. But I knew I'm like, this fight's dangerous. This fight's dangerous. I don't know if she's gonna do so good in it. And it was really exciting. But yeah, she got beat up. So yeah, I mean, that might be a lot, but I think her jiu-jitsu is still pretty solid, and I don't know if she can keep Pena off of her, but I don't think she's gonna have that many problems on the ground. I think she could handle herself on the ground with bantamweights probably better than Grasso could with some strawweights, as we saw later on. That Grasso still has some work to do, but
Yeah, I'd rather see Aldana like slowly progress, not just take a fight like that. I mean, if the opportunity presents itself, then of course she'll probably take it. She's a goddamn warrior, so
so Renault would be good.
yeah, I like that. Like, just slowly move her up, just see what else she could do. She's young. Well, she's not that young.
Irene, she's what, 30? I think she's a little bit
31.
older than me, 31. Yeah, yeah, she's
Yeah.
like a year or two older than me. Yeah.
What?
For as many fights as she has, she's well, I don't know her actual record, but yeah, I think she's a decent age. She's not too old, not too young. Has a
Yeah.
good amount of fights under her belt.
Whew, I just want to see more of her, but I want to see her just progress instead of being like move forward that fast. You know what I mean?
Okay.
So,
And
because I
then
like her, man.
she's fought what 3 times this year, right? She beat
Yeah.
Correa. She beat Correa. She lost to Pennington, and now this one. So yeah, she's probably gonna take a break for the rest of the year. I mean, it would probably do her good. 4 fights in a year though, that's not unheard of. That's a steady clip, I guess. We'll see. I think I'm with you though. Renault is a good match, and that was a match that should have happened anyway. So I'm not mad at that. Well, before we get into the fights we actually covered and the co-main event and the main event, we got to give a shout out to the man with probably the second worst chest tattoo aside from Darren Elkins, Steven Peterson. God damn, he fucking murdered a man on Saturday.
The spinning back fist?
Yes, that guy. Spinning back.
Oh, okay. I'm like, the hell are we talking about? Sorry. I'm like,
He murdered a man on live TV, Rena. You don't remember his name and his
yes.
horrible tattoo.
God, that was crazy.
I really want to hate that guy, but he's from LA. He is born here and doesn't live here, but he's born here. I'm like, fuck, man. There's not many people actually born in LA, so gotta give that white boy props. But he did speak terrible Spanish, so that kind of lessened the craziness of his knockout a little bit.
That shit's so funny.
But man, Jesus Christ, that's honestly one of the most terrifying knockouts I've seen in a while. Because it's not just that it was spectacular, spinning back fist versus spinning back fist, and he got there first, his landed. It was the fact that the dude drove into it. He was throwing his own spinning back fist, and as Peterson was throwing his, he ran right into it. So it's not just the thing of the whole, it's the punches you don't see that hurt you. He did not see that one coming at all, and he ran into it. Usually one or the other. He managed to do fucking both.
Yeah, that was spectacular. I actually managed to catch that one. Yeah.
And then props to him. I think he said, I don't know if it was in his post fight interview or in the scrum in the back or something. He said that he actually felt guilty about hitting him afterwards. He said, I guess he was just too
Oh,
up. Yeah, which usually I'm like, shut the fuck up. You're just trying to be cool. But I'm like, well, you did get a really spectacular knockout. You think it's just like, hey, I got amped up. Who cares? But nah, he was actually kind of sorry for it. So I'm all right. That's cool. I don't think he was doing it just so the Mexicans wouldn't pelt him with drinks either. See, that guy did some incredible violence, and they actually cheered for him. When I was seeing that fight, I'm like, dude, hell yeah! Like you're not just cheering for your own, because that was goddamn spectacular. But yeah, I guess with the way that the fights were going, he was one of the first Mexican victims, and it didn't get too good from there on out. Uh, the fight we didn't cover, I wanted to, but I didn't know who the opponent was. Brandon Moreno. I've been a fan of that guy for a long time. And yeah, Askar Askarov, the guy's actually pretty good. And I actually thought, all right, we're going to get into it in just a second, but I actually thought that was the fight of the night, even after this Barza Grasso fight. Am I crazy? I kind of think that I'm probably just salty that Grasso didn't win. But no, honestly, like, because I'm like, everyone's saying that Esparza Grasso. Honestly, when I saw that they won fight of the night, I'm like, are they giving it to him just because they didn't expect it or because they were chicks or something? But I don't know. I kind of thought that this fight was better. Maybe I need to watch
no.
it again. Maybe I'm being too biased against
No, it was a good fight, but yeah, just the way it ended.
what the
People were,
draw.
yeah.
See, and I think all right. Let's get into it. So yeah, that was a good fight. Ended in a draw. And Esparza Grasso, I mean, Esparza won a majority decision because one judge did score a draw, but I thought this for sure should have been a draw. I thought Esparza won the first 2 rounds, and
Hmm.
if the third round is not a 10-8 for Grasso, I don't know what the fuck is, man.
See, I thought she won 1 and 3. Grasso won 1 and 3, but
Well,
and then I heard like pros like going at it too. Like, no, Grasso won it, no. Esparza won it, no. Like draw. So it was just crazy, man. It could have been either way for that fight.
yeah, the first round was definitely closer than the second round. The second round is the second and the third. Second, Esparza all the way. Third, Grasso all the way. I can kind of see a case for the first But I don't have a problem giving them to Esparza. It's just I just think she didn't do enough in the third. I mean, she got hurt, she got wobbled, she basically almost got her arm broken, and she got her nose broken in the last seconds of the round. I mean, if that's not a 10-8 round, I don't know. I mean, Jesus, that yeah. Yeah, I mean props to her for being so tough, for hanging in there. She still took her down in that round. I think that's what people were like, "Oh, you can't give her a 10-8 round when she still managed to get a takedown." I'm like, "Yeah, but it was all reactionary and it was a desperate takedown. It
Did
wasn't like she took
anything.
her down. Yeah, she didn't do anything. She was trying to catch her breath and just not get her ass beat.
Hmm.
And not this is Esparza's fault, but Grasso kind of pulled her into it. Like she was willing to play along because she thought she could have the advantage on the floor. And now you can say that's her own fault, but to that point, I say, well, it's not necessarily Esparza that just got the takedown fully off of her own volition.
Well, I thought Grasso did well against Esparza. I mean, she was fighting off her back, off her back. Her striking was good.
Um, as of now, I mean, I don't know. I think it's hard. I mean, I think there's a thing of with the youth, Grasso's youth compared to Aldana. But if you had to put money right now, who do you think is going to go further in their career, Aldana or Grasso? Now, it doesn't have to mean that they're going to be
Oh,
champions or number one contenders or defending champion or anything. But like, if you had to guess, if you had to put money on one, who would you bet on?
oh my God, that's not fair. It's
I'm
a
telling you,
hard
like
question.
I've always been more of an Aldana fan, and I don't know. See, and we didn't really mention it when we were talking about her performance, but people are starting to see how beautiful her liver shots are. She needs to start bringing them back, man. She used to do that shit in Invicta a lot. She knocked a few girls out with some of them,
I
and
forgot about that.
yeah, like she's showing little glimpses. It's just I wish she just puts it all together and puts it all together, sooner rather than later, because she's got a good game. I don't know. I guess she just gets hesitant. I don't know.
I got carried away with that booty shot video of her like throwing that question mark kick. I totally forgot about her ripping those body shots, man. It was so pretty.
Well, I'm glad you appreciate a good Mexican. It's because
um,
she's light skinned. See, it's the white ones that are the villains, right?
so funny. But yeah, just the way she was just ripping them. Beautiful. Now that you mention it, maybe her. She's so tough. But Grasso, I mean, she's good too, though.
I don't. The thing that I think I've always kind of held off a little bit on Grasso. I mean, I love her and everything, but she just gets injured so much, and it seems like it takes her a while to get fights. And I don't know, she kind of goes up and down. I mean, literally, her career's been one loss, one win. I wrote about that last week in the article, and she's back to point A. I mean, people were raving about her in the Kovalkovic fight, and now, well, the good thing is she's gained a lot of fans, which is awesome. But yeah, I mean, as far as the records go, she's still has another loss, and I don't know. I kind of think they should do a rematch, but I don't know. It seems like not a lot of people were talking about it. I think just because people, kept talking about the antics, the main event, and that rematch. But what do you think? Do you think it should be a rematch, or they should just both move on to something else?
Just move on.
Really?
Yeah.
Hmm.
And she still had a good performance, so regardless of her record, she still had a good performance.
Who's Gedalia taking on soon? She's fighting soon, right? Um, son of a bitch. Who is she
Was
fighting?
she fighting Cynthia? Was that finally on the books?
I think you're right. I think that was the DC card or something. Yeah,
Yeah.
man. If well, maybe if Cynthia loses, yeah, Calvillo and Grasso, that could be good. That'll definitely test out her wrestling. She has to get there now. I mean, I feel like it's kind of do or die time for her. Even though she's younger, she's in a tougher division. Aldana, she can win some and lose some, and she'll keep going. But Grasso, if she loses too much momentum, she can lose it.
Yeah. So it's so stacked with hers.
Yeah, yeah. Well, Guess we'll see with that one too. I feel like this card brought more questions than it did answers. You know, bro, where does Brandon Moreno go from here? Where does Grasso and Esparza go from here? Where does I mean, Aldana did great, but it was against a newcomer. So where does she go? They're not easy questions. They're not easy questions to answer. And then, of course, got to get into the shit fest, the main event. That was Yair Rodriguez and Jeremy Stevens. I will. It's hard to talk about this without talking about all the shit that happened. I mean, because it wasn't a fight.
I know. It's unfortunate because I was actually looking forward to this fight. After everything that I watched, all the media scrums and everything, the tension, like looking into that and how Jeremy Stevens is feeling, what he was doing, hooking up with Tony Ferguson, training with him. I was like really interested in looking at this entire picture. Like, okay, it's here. He doesn't want to fight this person because he's not ranked, higher than me. Bullshit. Blah blah blah. Yeah, and then we get nothing. So, like, fuck. That's how I felt after that. Like, okay, now what?
Yeah, and we don't have to talk about the fans and all that bullshit, but I mean, yeah, we can definitely talk about Yair, and I mentioned it a little bit, in the intro of just his antics, the way he reacted, and and then okay, let's just get into it about the whole the lobby, the hotel lobby, the altercation. That definitely wasn't for show. That definitely wasn't for publicity. That was authentic. And obviously, a lot of people are giving Stevens hate now because he called them a gay slur. And seems like it was just all over the place. Yair said a gay slur, technically. Not necessarily, but technically. The crowds were saying it. And then, Stevens straight up called him the gay F-bomb. And you know what? I don't condone that kind of behavior, but same time, I'm in the line of the old Chris Rock joke about you can't be mad and politically correct. And not saying it was right, but I at least understand where he's coming from. When you're that wound up, especially against a guy that actually hurt you and injured you, yeah, I'd be fucking pissed too.
Well, I guess he walked up to Jeremy and acted like he was concerned, right? He was asking him about his eye, and then he suddenly turned on him and started talking shit. So who wouldn't react to that?
Yeah.
Especially with what happened previously, right? The previous night. He got injured. He got all kinds of shit thrown at him. They had to protect him to get him out of there. And then this dude's gonna come up to you, act all concerned, and then talk shit and expect nothing to happen? Come on. You're an idiot.
It's weird that Yair's acting like Stevens owes him something,
Yeah, it's so strange. Like, what's wrong with you? You're once a person that was gonna be cut, right?
He did get cut.
On his day off, that's
remember,
right.
Reen? On his day off. That's where that classic line of yours came from.
Yeah, so crazy. And then now he's like acting all like he's the victim. But whatever, man. It's just crazy.
With all these accusations that were thrown my way on Saturday after I outed the crowd for yelling a gay slur, that again, white people, I'm your inner voice of hatred, and I'm here to bring truth to this shit. But it's funny that Yair got fired. Yair might be the only Mexican ever to get fired for not doing his job. That's pretty fucking hard. That's pretty fucking hard. And he did good, and then he did good in the fucking Korean zombie fight, and then he comes back, and then this shit happens. Like he's back to square one, right? I mean, or is he even worse than he was? Is he worse now than he was before the Korean zombie fight?
It seems like it's worse now.
Yeah,
Just
and
yeah,
you know what
it's
doesn't
unfortunate.
you know what's even worse, and this doesn't help him, and it's not necessarily his fault, but like I feel that people are gonna blame this on him. The whole the beer throwing, the pop, all that shit that happened because he didn't condemn it. He was like basically the only fighter that did it. It almost seemed like he encouraged it.
Oh yeah, there's
So
some pros that said the same thing. Like he didn't really stop it from happening.
it seems like he's the only one that like. It seems like if you're saying, "Oh, I'm a big Yair fan," it's like, "Oh, you're probably one that would have thrown beer at fucking Jeremy Stevens too, huh? You sack of shit."
Yeah, his body language. I mean, even if you couldn't hear it, the crowd there, like the way he's strutting around the cage, his body language, like
Yeah,
yeah, you're feeding the crowd doing that.
yeah,
So he didn't get on the mic and say anything positive.
yeah. And then okay, so I'm doing my best job here, but let's let's rewind this back a little. We had a discussion off air about the Bisping incident and all this. So let's set up the scene, Rain. What were people questioning and the whole lost in translation thing of the octagon interview between them and all that?
Like, well, what was actually said? Because Yair went off on Bisping when Bisping put his like hand on him on his shoulder.
Yeah, so there's this misconception, I guess, and I get it, how Bisping got to this, and I definitely get it if non-Spanish speakers got the wrong idea. He did say puto, which I guess is what started getting a lot of he started getting a lot of hate for because that's also can be used as a gay slur, not always, but can be, and it seemed like he got mad at Bisping and called him that, but that's not necessarily what happened. I couldn't make out the first couple of words he said, but he says something to the effect of like "este puto chingó todo," something along those lines, which roughly translates into like this little bitch, this fucking pussy fucked everything up, something along those lines. So he wasn't talking about Bisping, he was talking about Stevens, and he called him basically, yeah, motherfucker, a bitch, a pussy, whatever you want to say. It is used as a gay slur sometimes, but I don't think he meant it that way. The people that I did know use a gay slur and meant it that way are more the fans when they started chanting culero when Jeremy Stevens couldn't continue. So that was those are the only people in the crowd being homophobic because it was the crowd, not necessarily Yair, but still not a good look at all.
Yeah, so some people thought that he was going off on Bisping.
Yeah, and I can
So,
see that. I mean, if I didn't understand Spanish, that's what I would think too. And
mhm.
I would not blame Bisping at all. I mean, quite frankly, Yair's lucky that he didn't get punched because he's already in a hostile environment. I mean, it looked like Bisping was ready to fight the crowd for whatever goddamn reason. So he's scared, he's anxious, he's nervous. He goes in there, he doesn't know what's coming his way, and then this guy just gets all angry. And even he said that he recognized enough to know what puto meant. He
Uh-huh.
could have taken that the wrong way and started some shit with Yair too. So, and
He didn't flinch. You know
plus
that?
plus he's an unrelenting eye poker. So I don't think Bisping takes too kindly to people like that.
That shit's funny. But yeah, Bisping didn't even flinch, man.
He's,
Fucking
he's,
savage. He's
he's
like,
a
okay.
gangster, man. Yeah, he's that guy. I'm telling you, there's nothing. I don't know, man. I don't know if it's just because Conor McGregor is obviously very skilled in trash talk and he's natural at it. But I don't know. There's something about Bisping where it's just like I can just see my homie being like that. Like with GSP, that was some of the worst trash talk ever. And by worst, I mean best. Like so infuriating because he's just such an asshole. He's such an asshole, doing the whole thing with the bandana, like, haha, look at me, George. That's what you look like, you fucking idiot. Like, he's a fucking piece of shit. But god damn it, he would get me
Organic?
so mad. Yeah, he would get me so mad. Like Connor, he could get me mad, but like I can laugh about it and I can even laugh him off, even at his in his heyday. But
Yeah,
Bisping is just like, oh, you motherfucker, I want to sock you in the face right now.
I love him. I love that about him.
And even then, he's still back down against Jorge. And to this day, I don't blame him. Remember that scuffle?
Yes, they're buddies now.
Yeah, and you know what? Props to him, man, because that also goes to show what kind of guy Jorge is. He's real, but he ain't. He ain't gonna. He's not that. We're never gonna squash it type guy. It's if you got a problem with me, let's go, and if you don't, we're cool too.
See, he can do with Bisping, which is, I mean, he's an asshole. I love him. He's an asshole, though, right? He's the biggest asshole out there. Just look it up on YouTube. Like the best trash talk of Bisping. It's out there. Just check it out if you've never seen it. Even the old school shit. Oh, Luke Rockhold, trash talk, epic.
I still think Luke got. I think still think that Luke got the best of it though, because Luke still has one of the best lines in trash talk history, and just because people don't like him, they'll never give him the credit. But I believe it was. I don't know if it was the first fight or the second fight, but Bisping was just going on about how he was gonna beat him and all this, and Rockhold said something to the effect of like, "Damn, Bisping, like you're fucking nuts. Like you're crazy. You're crazy if you think you're gonna beat me. Like I know you can't see straight, but you can't fucking think straight either."
That's fucked up.
Come on,
Yeah.
all is fair in love and war, baby, and he fucking took it to him, man. That's good. And he got mad. He's like, "Oh, you're gonna make fun of my eye, you asshole." He got fucking pissed. It's good to see Bisping get served up a dose of his own medicine. And as much as I like Bisping, like I loved when GSP beat him. I'm a GSP fan, but I was just glad because I know GSP had been bullied in his life, so he's just like, "Fuck this guy," and he finished him. So I had my moments where I was happy to see Bisping lose, but I had more than enough moments where I was happy to see him win too.
Yeah, epic. Talking shit.
That's the kind of guy you want to root for, and that's the kind of guy you want to hate. He did both. Everyone hated him in the beginning, and something happened in the last 2 years of his career where everybody loved him. That's cool, man.
Because he knocked out Rockhold.
It really was just that, right? It's so.
I think that's what it is, yeah.
See, like I became a fan of his like a little bit more than I did because I'm like, damn, he's actually good. He's not just like this journeyman, which is what a lot of people thought of him. But yeah, I didn't really feel one way or another about Luke. I was just like, all right, cool. This guy's talking mad shit. He took it on like 2 weeks' notice, and he got the belt. Good for him. But yeah, I mean, I don't know if there's a more hated fighter than Luke aside from like maybe Colby or Dylan Dennis. Like he's fucking that bad. It's crazy.
Oh,
I honestly think more people hate Luke Rockhold than hate John Jones, and I can't understand that.
oh man, we give too many passes to John Jones. It's just because he's great.
Yeah, but I mean, there's a lot of people who hate him. There's a lot of people who never root for him and will actively cheer against him. But with Luke, it's like he just has no fans. Like at least the people that hate John Jones really hate him, but he's got real fans. Like there's no fans of Luke Rockhold, and doesn't make any sense why. But well, now he's fucking eating through a straw and whatnot. But
poor guy with the staph infection he's still recovering from.
Really?
Is that what that was on his knee? Something was wrong with his knee?
Yeah, but I thought that was from like an old injury or so. He didn't want to risk it. I hope he's not that dirty motherfucker that kept fighting. Because remember, he fought Weidman with staph basically, and I think one or two of his other fights too, he basically had staph too. Like, oh my god, stop.
He had a brace on, not on the knee, but the shin or something, right?
Yeah, it was like a shin guard, shin sleeve or something. Not shin guard. That's like a Muay Thai thing, but like a sleeve on his shin.
I thought it was an infection. I thought it was staph or something that he was covering up. Anyways, he's just too beautiful, and people hate that shit.
So he's like, he's just the male Paige Van Zandt. She's the pretty girl. A lot of women don't like her, so a lot of people don't like Luke because he's a handsome dude.
Exactly.
I'm still smarter than that motherfucker. Fuck him. He's still fucking dumb as a bag of rocks.
Ah, surfer dude.
Yeah. Locals only, bro.
Yeah, like literally. That's what he did.
But he'll come back to banging models and being his normal self, and meanwhile I'll be here doing my little sad fucking dance. So yeah, anyway. That went from my pokes to Bisping to Rockhold. I mean, I guess when you don't want to address the Well, you don't further want to address the elephant in the room of the savage Mexican fans is what we get to. So,
Oh,
Irene,
geez.
it's all right, Irene. You can let it out. You seen that white girl? I told you about that white girl in Sacramento. You can emulate her for a second. You're
No, it's
safe
just.
here. This is a safe space for the racists.
Oh no, I thought you had the platform and you were gonna go completely off. So yeah, I had nothing ready, man.
You got to think about your racism.
Yeah, I have to think about it now. I have like nothing on the fly, nothing, none. I'm like,
Like I started
I,
telling you about.
I, I didn't really feel much about it, you know, when it
That's
happened.
that's
And
almost worse.
yeah, sorry, man.
And shit, you're not offending me, but it's like, damn, it's that expected, huh?
Like, you know what I mean? Like, desensitize. What's that word? I can't even say
Yeah,
it. I gotta get water. Hold up.
desensitized. No,
Yeah.
you're close. It's a hard word to pronounce. Desensitized. Yeah, I get it.
So it's sad, right? Like
It
you
is.
expect shit like that to go down. Like
It is.
the, I'm doomed.
Yeah, that's why. Yeah, people need to be
Sorry.
careful, man. If you're a certain type of person, yeah, it's just some people aren't made to go out because. See, I'm the kind of person that I'm always ready for shit. Yeah, I've gone out too many times, and
Mm-hmm.
I've luckily, never been in too much of a bad situation. But I'm fully expecting for shit like that to pop off anywhere and everywhere.
Yeah, that scares me with alcohol and crazy
Yeah,
people and
I mean, I've been to rock shows where I saw 3 fights within the course of like 20 minutes, like right around me. So God knows what was happening. This is a 60,000 person show. Who knows what was going on in the front and on the sides and everywhere else I wasn't, you know?
hmm
Yeah, wild. But
yeah, sorry. It's just you guys are crazy, man. You guys are wild. Soccer games and shit. Get so emotional about things and people dying
yeah,
over games and I mean it was
go
just
Raiders.
here. Well, yeah, shit happens here too, um
It's okay.
but
I'm
then,
saying that about my people because we love the Raiders for some fucking reason.
but yeah, it's just insane. Near Mexico.
Yeah.
It's the wild, wild west. Like what can
Yep.
you do? Yeah. So
So
anyways, it was uneventful. Main event.
sure.
Anti yeah. What else can you say really? I mean like I'm lost for words right now.
This we're gonna talk. This is, I guess, technically part of the headlines, but yeah, just to close it out, I guess, because why bring it up later? Yeah, they have rebooked the fight, Stevens and Rodriguez. It is now the co-main event of the Weidman Reyes fight, right? Yep.
Yes.
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 Yeah. So I mean, they're running it back.
In
They're running it
Boston.
back pretty soon. I'm just surprised that Stevens gonna recover that soon. I don't know if that was a wise choice. I don't even know if he is gonna be recovered. Maybe he just said, "Get me on there as fucking soon as you can." Yeah.
I mean, he had his sunglasses off. He was talking. He had all these interviews. He said he felt good. He was going to get it checked out right away. I don't know if he already did that, if there's an update on it. He has 4 weeks to do this now, which is great, I think, because he's still in good shape.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. I was like, I wonder how much the camp down there helped him. Like, I wonder if he's still gonna be in like peak and like more, in a better shape since he dealt with the elevation for so long.
hmm
Yep.
So, and then he's probably going to have to do like media stuff again, probably more media because of the, UFC Mexico incident. And
I think not just the media but the UFC are gonna play this up. I mean, this is like, I mean, not Conor Khabib bullshit because obviously that's a gigantic fight, but I mean like the beef. It's like that legit. I mean, they're getting out into it outside of the cage. People were being assaulted in the crowd, which like could be even Connor. You know what I mean? Like using the dolly. Like I think they're gonna use it. I think they're gonna use the footage of the beers fucking going into the cage and whatnot. Because it's gonna be like, oh look, this is what your ear caused, or whatever, however they're gonna spin it.
Oh yeah, no doubt. Of
Yeah,
course. It's yeah,
it's all a tragedy until it can be used for good marketing.
right, exactly. It's entertainment. Gotta hype this up.
I love the fight game. I love capitalism. That's the way to go. Yeah. Enough of that. Let's get into our preview of UFC Copenhagen. So first up, we got Mark Jacasey versus Lando Venata. I remember we talked about this months ago when it was first announced, and I think I'm just as excited about this right now than I was when it first got announced. As far as the pick goes, I don't know. Dude, so the guys are they're so inconsistent. It's kind of a coin flip for me. You see something here that I'm not seeing, Rain?
Is this gonna be like fight of the night, right?
You know what? It's a good contender, but I wouldn't be surprised if I'm not counting out the main event, and then there's a few other fights that look pretty decent on here too.
Yeah.
It's gonna be a lot of spinny shit. I know that.
Yeah, they're both exciting fighters, and wow, they're pretty much evenly matched with like losses. They've only been sub once, lost by decisions. Never been like knocked out. None of that. I was going back and forth too. I did put JKC down because I do like him. He's a tough dude. He did look really great in his last fight. So yeah, I don't
Uh,
know, man.
uh,
Somebody's gonna get knocked out, I think.
a fight this close and with them being so similar, yeah, I think I'm just gonna have to go with Venata. I mean, I have to do something different because I can't really say anything different than what you just said. They're both wild. They're both inconsistent. They're both super exciting. They both do risky maneuvers. They're both tough as hell. Yeah, I'll just go with Venata just for the principle of it because I can say all the same things about Venata than I can for Gia Casey. I'll just take the other corner in this instance. Next up, Macy Chasson versus Lena Landsberg. I'm getting decent with pronouncing that Chasson name. Macy's coming off of a win of Jesus. Why I just had her name. Why is it escaping me?
Was this Sarah?
Sarah Morris. There you go. Thank
Okay.
you. I had it. I hadn't even thought of it, and as soon as I was gonna say it, I was like, why can't I remember? Sarah Morris and Lena Landsberg just beat the shit out of Tanya Evinger. I mean, Chasson is gonna be the favorite, and I mean, she has all the ingredients. She looks like a good prospect, but I don't know. I know Landsberg hasn't been too hot, but that Evinger fight, I don't know. Maybe I'm putting too much stock in Evinger still, but that really impressed me.
Macy's only had like 5 fights as a pro,
Yeah,
but she's so good. She's so strong. I think she's had like 7 or 8 amateur fights, and she was finishing girls then as well. So I mean, if you look at it on paper, they probably had like equal fights now, right?
I think
Lena,
so.
man,
Yeah.
yeah, Lena. Like I like her. I had high hopes for her, but Macy's a monster. I think she's gonna get finished. I think
Yeah.
she's gonna finish Lena.
Shasan is the one Macy I do like. Um, yeah.
Oh God.
Yeah, I even brought her up and yeah, I brought her up a few times on Twitter this week. There is not a moment where I can't hate that woman. Anyway, moving on. I don't know. I really do like Shasan, but I feel like sometimes because of her youth, because of her strength, I don't know. Sometimes I feel like she's gonna rely on it too much, and a girl like Landsberg's the kind of girl that can expose that. Yeah, she's not, you know, she's not this dynamic fighter. She's not this savvy veteran like a who's a like Felice Herrig or something. You know, there's those type of girls that can they know the tricks and they can expose you. I don't think she's that kind, but I think her experience can offer her problems. I'll say that Chisholm wins, but I think by decision. Landsberg's pretty tough still. I mean, I don't think I think Cyborg's fight against her was one of the biggest ass whoopings ever. And it still took her 2 rounds to do it. I mean, most people would have quit in the first, and she took her 2 rounds. So I don't think Shasan hits much harder than Cyborg. So yeah, I think this will probably go to decision. I think she'll make it somewhat competitive. Next up, Jan Kudalaba versus Khalil Roundtree. So we became gigantic Khalil Roundtree fans after the Eric Anders fight, which, correct me if I'm wrong, that was still the last fight, right?
Yeah, Bangkok Roundtree.
Bangkok Roundtree. Oh god, that sounds like such a great porn name. Anyway, Jan Kudalaba, the guy you endlessly make fun of just because old men choke him out. Man, this fight is just piss and vinegar, isn't it?
Yeah.
I mean,
Oh
Roundtree's
man.
obviously a lot more technical, but he's still a ferocious fighter. And Kudalaba, I mean, they called him the Hulk for a reason. I don't know, Roundtree as much improvement as he's shown. I kind of have this feeling that Kudalaba, just his aggression, can cause him problems. The only question I have is I don't know if it's enough for him to actually be able to beat Roundtree.
Well, you gotta be smart about it too, not just like go all out aggressive. So yeah, that's the only thing with Kudalaba.
Yeah, yeah, you have an excellent point there. That is true. And Khalil's obviously very good with his Muay Thai right now. It's just the thing with Muay Thai is that it's a combat sport, so
Hmm.
there's pros and cons to every kind of style, but for the most part, Muay Thai is kind of a like for a boxer puncher type thing. You take one and give one. They love exchanging, or they love being on the outside. So I think a guy like Kudalaba, who's so aggressive, can probably make him, you know, doubt his leg kicks and some of the shit that he got so good at. I don't know. He gasses so much and he's so ridiculous at times. It's hard for me to pick him, but I can definitely see him giving Roundtree problems because he's just he goes at such a full clip that you have to respect it.
Kudalaba, man, he's just he's not too smart with this fight IQ. So I'm here laughing at him.
You know what?
I'm still thinking about Glover like choking him out because just the way he was so aggressive with him. I mean, just like disrespecting him. Yeah, I gotta watch that fight again. That was a fun fight.
You love that fight a little too much, I think.
Oh,
You know what? I think I'm just gonna go out and say I think Roundtree will win it, but I'm not too confident in it. If
yeah,
Kudalaba wins, I'm not gonna be really surprised.
yeah, won't be surprised either. I mean, either or it could happen. So
But you're going Roundtree?
yeah, I'm going Roundtree.
Okay.
Bangkok Roundtree.
Bangkok Roundtree. Does Khalil have a nickname now that I think about it?
The War Horse, right? I think it was the War Horse.
Isn't that Barnett? Oh no, that's War Master. I
I
don't
thought it
remember.
was the War Horse. I have to look it up.
I don't remember. Anyway, Gilbert Burns is stepping in and on late notice against Gunnar Nelson.
I was
Well,
like, oh shit.
not too much of a late notice. I believe it was supposed to be Thiago Alves originally, right, against
Yeah.
Gunnar, and
You know
he
what's
got
crazy? He just got cleared today. He was injured. It came out, the announcement came out, what, September 12th or something? Earlier in the month. But he got cleared today
hmm.
by his doctor. So whatever happened, I don't think they disclosed what happened. But he got cleared today, so it's crazy. So I'm wondering like what Gunny's really feeling because now he has to go against Gilbert. He has no fucking neck. He's scary as shit.
I don't know what the odds on this are, but I mean, I think am I crazy to say that I think Gilbert Burns is a safe bet?
I think so.
Cause I don't know. I see this and all I keep thinking is Damian Maya, Damian Maya, Damian Maya. I mean, Damian Maya made Nelson his bitch. No offense to the guy, but let's be real. When the guy's on your back for 15 minutes and you can't do fucking dick about it, I'm sorry, man, but yeah, that guy got your card,
Hmm.
man. And Burns, I mean, I know he's not on Maya's level, but he's a legit black belt. And yeah, I know Nelson is too, but I think Burns is still levels above him.
Oh, for sure.
And he's
Something
coming off of
crazy.
I believe a 3-fight win streak. He'd been struggling there for a while, but he's got some good wins together. And man, if he does win this, he's probably a top 15 guy already, huh?
Crazy. Would he
So
be? No, Gunny's not.
he's not in the top 15. I thought that Edwards fight. I thought he was like number 9 or something. I thought he was ranked ahead of Edwards at the time, anyway.
Did he fall off? Yeah.
And then remember that he almost submitted Edwards too. He got his back like for the last round too.
Yeah, he fell off. There's so many people like coming and going in this division.
Jesus.
Yeah. I think because of, Pettis and Till moving around and Nate Diaz coming
Yes,
on
yeah, they're
board and
fucking shit
shit.
up.
And
Yeah.
yeah, the rankings are all weird.
And Askren, I mean, he barely signed on this year too. So I mean, he's a pretty recent addition. The Askren, yeah, because the Leon Edwards fight was what, like a week after Askren made his debut. So yeah, that's
Hmm.
pretty recent too.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Neil Magny's still ranked.
Jesus, and he hasn't fought forever.
So it's just weird.
Santiago hasn't fought forever too, and he, yeah. Oh, Neil Magny, I forgot. Didn't he get Osada a few weeks ago?
Yep.
Uh, Yeah, see, that's the type of shit that makes me not trust Osada. I'm not even the biggest Neil Magny fan. I do like him, but dude, that dude is doing shit. No, no way, no way, man. Catching him with fucking some bullshit, man. Yeah, that's no. But I mean,
Stinking.
they did catch Sarah Frodo last week, but anybody could have fucking figured that out and take a genius.
Oh Lord. She's
Yeah,
scary.
yeah, no, not in a good way. Anyway, so we're both going Burns, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. It's going to be interesting. Hmm.
Main event time: Jared Cannonier versus Jack Hermanson. Uh, I think this is kind of flying under the radar of some people. This is there's an early morning card. I believe the main card starts at 11 Eastern, or it could be Pacific. I gotta look again. Either way, it's in the morning. When you wake up, just put on ESPN Plus. I'm sure you'll find it. But I really think this fight can be a real war. What I saw Jared Cannonier against Anderson Silva and a few of his other fights, he's very brutal guy. He loves a war. Well, maybe not as a war, but he's a very intimidating dude. And Hermanson's a guy that actually loves a war, as we saw in the Jacare Souza fight, and not afraid to take it to the ground and not afraid to stand. I don't know. I think it comes down to what Hermanson wants to do because I think he's got more tools than Cannonier, but I will not sleep on Cannonier, man. We've always known he's got knockout power, but as we saw with the Anderson Silva fight, I mean, whether he was injured or not, now we're seeing that he's got some fucking ferocious kicks too.
So who's your pick then?
It's gonna be hard to pick against Hermanson. I mean, Cannonier, I really do like the guy,
Hmm.
but I don't know. Hermanson, I think, is someone to be reckoned with.
What you said almost like made me change my mind. I have like Jack on my notes.
Well,
But
what about
but
Cannonier's power? I mean, the shit that
yes.
everybody knows about him.
Yes, and then I don't know if I just like discredit him because of the fact that he fought Anderson Silva. It's an older version of Silva, you know what I mean?
Yeah, but
So
Derek Brunson couldn't beat him, and Derek Brunson's still like a top middleweight. I mean, maybe
wait a
a
minute.
lot of people
Wait
think
a
he could beat him,
second.
but
No, man. Jack is crazy. That was an insane fight he had with Jacare.
he
Short
almost submitted
notice.
him. I don't give a shit what anybody says. He almost submitted him.
He was great on his feet. Like he looked fucking amazing. And he wanted this fight. He's ready to go. He just wants to fucking fight.
And it's in his home, well, technically like his second home country.
Yeah. So I'm going with Jack. This might be a fight of the night too.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's between this one, Jacasey Venata, and then like I said, Chasson Landsberg because I think Landsberg can actually put up a fight. So that one can be exciting too. All right, so both going Hermanson then.
Yep.
All right. So that does it for the preview. Let's get into some headlines. First up, we should start off with some sad news because I don't want to end it with some sad news. So, came out earlier today that Katy Collins, who was a former Bellator and LFA fighter, died today at the age of 32. Apparently, she had an aneurysm a week ago, and she died today. She was a mother of two, so that's incredibly sad. The one thing I'm just confused by is it doesn't say anything of what happened. I mean, I know aneurysms happen; they're kind of a freak thing sometimes, but it just leaves a bad taste in your mouth because she was a fighter. Who knows if this was a long-lasting thing? It had been over a year since she fought, but the human body is a delicate thing. Who knows what it could have been?
That's the first thing I thought of. I'm like, okay, how did this happen? Is it because of all the fighting that she's did? And
Well, when I first saw it, when I just saw the headline, I thought she had a fight like over the weekend, and I thought she'd been in the hospital this whole time, and she just passed away. Obviously, that wasn't the case, but I mean, you can't put shit like that on the back burner. I mean, that is legitimate. That is a legitimate concern. Like this is a whole other story, but I read something. I saw a story that actually happened here in SoCal like a week ago. This is different because they're kids, but there was this high school kid who died yesterday. I don't know if they were bullies or what, or just some asshole kids. They sucker punched him. I don't know if his head hit the floor or there was just a really strong blow to the back of the head or something. Sucker punched him, and he got I don't know if it was an aneurysm or like brain swelling or something, and he died yesterday. So I mean, the head is not meant to be taking punches. It's like I said, I don't know if this was the case with her, but one never knows.
that's so sad.
So young. It's shit, man. It's weird how I don't know, in my 20s. I'm still in them, but early and mid 20s, I see someone dying at 30, 30 something. I'm just like, oh, not that, oh, they had a good life, but I'm like, oh, it doesn't seem that tragic. And the closer I get to it, I'm like, holy shit, that would suck to die at 32. I'm only 3 years away from it. Technically two.
Yeah, so
Yeah,
young.
yeah. Tragic stuff. So, rest in peace to Katy Collins. And, I hope her kids are all right because it's very tragic. But moving on from that, yeah, we got to get in some bullshit. These next two headlines are just utter bullshit. So a lot of people are making a big deal about this $50,000 price tag on the BMF belt they're gonna put on the winner of Diaz and Masvidal. What did you think of this, Rain?
No, my first thought was why?
Why?
Why are we spending money on this bullshit belt? Why are they even creating it?
Well, that's a very good point. I feel the same way as far as that goes. Of yeah, there should be no belt here. Although you didn't feel that way a few weeks ago, but um, is that
It's
so? Did you see
weird
that price
now.
tag and you were just like, "Fuck it," like it ain't cool
It's
anymore?
it's just weird now. Like I told you, like off air last time. Yeah, last week. Now that Daddy's in the mix and he's like agreeing with everything, it's not fun anymore.
This is
And
like
so,
this is
yeah,
like your
so
parents. This is like your parents starting to bump like fucking Dr. Dre and all the music you grew up listening. Like, what the fuck are you doing playing that shit? You're supposed to hate it.
yeah,
That's
there's no
funny.
opposition. It's just
Yeah, it's
everything.
like you're
Yeah,
not
they're trying to.
rebellious anymore.
Yeah, there's no like opposition. That everything's agreed upon. Like, oh yeah, we're gonna do this too. It's a good idea. I'm like, wait, hold up, what? Come again? You're actually creating the belt? Oh my god, really? Well, the current belt looks like shit anyway, so I wonder what this one will look like. Oh, and there's a $50,000 price tag on it? Huh.
I said it should be like rusted. It should have like old worn out leather. It should be like rusted, and it should have, instead of the little things for the stones for the title defenses, it should have just places or like little pockets for your opponent's teeth. If you're gonna make it look for like a bad motherfucker, you gotta make it look kind of raw. But of course, no one's gonna listen to me because, yeah, they want it to look all. Sure, they want it to look all presentable or some shit.
Well, what's your hatred towards The Rock? Because I saw your tweet on it.
Oh yeah, and people, dude. Oh, to all you guys, anyone that liked it or replied to me or whatever, what is it that you people love the fucking Rock so much? He was a decent wrestler and a fucking mediocre actor. I don't get the big deal with him. I mean, okay, maybe I worded that tweet a little wrong. I don't hate the guy. I don't have anything personal against him. I'm just not a fan of his movies. I just think there's better actors out there. And personally, I like actors, not action stars. And he's just an action star to me. To each their own, I guess. But people were making it seem like he was fucking, I don't know, Gandhi or something. I was like, what? It's The Rock, man. Yeah, he was a entertaining wrestler, and yeah, the Rudy Poo candy ass is one of my favorite insults of all time and shit. Yeah, he's a great wrestler. Just don't care much for his acting or his movies.
That shit was so funny. People are not happy with you.
People love him. Apparently. I mean, I'm glad that I wasn't getting like shit on. People were just like, why?
Yeah.
I don't get it.
Yeah.
I don't get it. It's just I just don't care for him. Nothing personal. I just don't care for the guy. Yeah, that's a whole other thing unto itself. I guess the reason I don't like it, like you said, I'm not down with the belt in the first place. I don't think that we should invest this kind of money for this, but I remember a long time ago, and I don't know if this applies to the new belt, but I remember hearing, I believe it was Forrest Griffin talk about that, like he once took a belt, or one of his teammates or somebody took a belt, a UFC belt that he'd gotten, and they said like they took it to like a pawn shop or someone that knew about gold and all that shit, and they said like just the belt by itself, like 10 years ago, just the original classic UFC belt that they had was worth like over $300,000. This could be just a rumor. Maybe his friend bullshitted him, or maybe I heard that wrong. But that was just like the value of it, and obviously it would go up based on whose belt it was. I mean, I'm sure John Jones' belt is worth more than, you know, T.J. Dillashaw's belt or some shit, you know. But yeah, supposedly $300,000 the belt just as is. So if that's to be believed, I guess I don't really have an issue with $50,000 belt, but it's just I wonder how shitty it's gonna look.
Yeah, it's just.
Would it be the worst thing ever? I mean, is the worst design literally if they just made another UFC belt, like the Power Rangers type belt that they have? Because Dana's saying that they're designing another one, but maybe it's just, oh, it has a green strap instead of a black strap or whatever. I mean, like it could be nothing.
I don't know. I'm scared. Now that I'm thinking about it, I'm like,
should have BMF scratch with a fucking nail. Like I said, rusted, cracked leather.
I wonder.
And as that tweet said, I still stand by it. It shouldn't be The Rock. It should be Samuel L. Jackson, and it shouldn't be just the belt. He should also hand them the wallet from Pulp Fiction with $1,500 in it, and only real fans of Pulp Fiction will get that reference to the $1,500.
What was that about again? I can't remember it.
That was the end of Pulp. That was the end of Pulp Fiction. That was when the guys in the restaurant, or they rob the restaurant. They have all the wallets, and he tells the guys, "I want you to go in there and find my wallet." And he goes, "Which one is it?" This is the one that says "bad motherfucker."
Oh.
Pulls it out, right. And goes, "That's my bad motherfucker." And he gives it back to him. He's like, "Look at the money, count it." He's like, "How much is there?" It says around $1,500. And I said, "All right, put it in your pocket. It's yours." And then that's when he tells them, "Oh, that's a pretty good little score, huh?" And then they go on in their little speech or whatever. But yeah, he gave the guy that robbed him $1,500. That's what I'm saying. Samuel Jackson should come out, give him the wallet along with the belt and $1,500.
I like it.
And if I'm a Pulp Fiction is my favorite movie of all time, so I've read and seen a lot of videos and things about it. And I want to say, if I remember correctly, Samuel Jackson actually does have that wallet. I think it used to be Quentin Tarantino's. I think he found it somewhere. He found like some weird novelty store or something. He bought it. And I think he actually ended up giving it to Samuel L. Jackson after the movie ended. So I think Samuel L. Jackson still might actually have that wallet. So that's another reason. Like, well, you could actually get it from the guy. It's not just a prop.
Fun movie fact.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, ask me
it's just
anything about that
odd.
fucking movie. I'll know everything. But yeah, yeah. I don't give a shit about it. But like I said, if what's said is to be true, that a regular UFC belt's up to $300,000, this doesn't seem like that big of a deal. But it's still a decent amount of
The
money.
fact, yeah, the fact that they're using that kind of money, they have that kind of money to make this belt. That doesn't really mean anything.
Meanwhile,
It was just,
they can't
it's
even
just,
make a decent poster for Weidman and Reyes.
yes, right? Like it's just a gimmick. Like just leave it as is and let's just have this fight. They're not talking shit. They're so cordial with each other. Jorge, he's just been everywhere doing his rounds. You don't really hear a peep out of Nate.
I heard someone say, it may have been on the live chat, on the A side live chat, say that someone in his camp or Jorge himself said that he's gonna chill right now. That Mexico City card was the last that you're gonna see of him for a while. That he's just gonna dial it down and just go full soldier mode for Diaz right now. So that's
Yeah.
good. Yeah, because the last thing I need, and I don't think that Jorge's a guy that'll make excuses, but the last thing I need is like if he has a shitty performance, or I mean, crazier things have happened, but if he gets knocked out or submitted in the first round or some shit, people are probably gonna just start hating on him because it's like, oh, well, you were in fucking Mexico City and you were at the Adesanya card and blah 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 blah. You know, like people get all, they love to find an excuse for whatever.
They just like to talk shit. Let's just be honest. Let's be real.
Yeah.
They talk shit about everything.
Hey, I'm not one to hate. I mean, I am one to hate. I hate on everything, but yeah, I don't know. I don't necessarily. Like I said, I'm not a fan of the belt. If you're gonna make it, if this is less, and if the figure is correct, $300,000. If this is 6 times less than a regular UFC belt, then fuck it. I
Was
expect it
it
to look like a boxing belt now.
was it Bisping or I forgot who it was. But they're like, you know what? I'm kind of jealous that I can't have a hand at that belt. Like it's a unique belt. It'll be one of a kind. Nobody will ever have that belt ever again.
Oh, so they just like want it on their mantle.
They want to
Like,
fight for it too, essentially, or yeah, like have a crack at it too, because nobody has that belt.
well, I mean, if Dana's to be believed, which no real reason to believe him, but yeah, if this is a one-time thing, only Nate Diaz or only Jorge Masvidal will ever hold it. So yeah, that is a good point.
God, I hope it doesn't continue because I can only imagine.
Telling you,
Con-
Cowboy Nate too in 2020 for the bad motherfucker title.
oh, see, I was thinking Connor and Nate.
Oh, that's gonna happen too. But I don't know. Well, let's get into it. Fuck it. Connor's also on the docket. It sounds like he's into it too, but it seems like it's more his coaches saying that they want him to fight Frankie for his next fight back. And obviously, no one knows when that's gonna be. It's all just speculation. But it seems like people have a gigantic problem with this. I don't necessarily have a problem because I'm a Frankie fan and I know he's down to fight. And he said he'll basically accept whatever stipulations Connor gives him. I mean, it doesn't seem like it's going to be a good fight for Frankie, but I mean, does just the fight make any sense? Is this just Connor being desperate for a win just to get back in there? I mean, I'm not gonna say he's afraid of Gagey or Ferguson or Poirier or any of these guys that he could fight, but this just seems like this is the easiest way to get a win, so I'm gonna do it like that.
Of course it is.
I mean, but the
Of course it is. It's being looked at as an easier fight in
the
comparison, right? But I think Frankie's camp, they won it at like 145.
yeah, Connor's never making 145 again, ever.
So I wonder if they're really gonna make this happen, and then at what weight class? What are we doing?
I'll tell you this: if Connor ever does go to 145, you should be really worried about how much cocaine he's been doing because that's not going to be natural weight loss. I don't think he can go back there naturally. So he's gonna just be
No,
coked out of his mind.
no, insane. So I wonder if they'll do a catch weight. Who knows? I don't
What,
know.
like 150 or something? Like,
Yeah, because I mean, it doesn't make sense. Like, wasn't Frankie thinking about going down?
yeah. I
So he's
wonder if at
gonna.
this point, because he's been at 145 so long, I wonder if he'd have to put on some weight. Like if it is at 155, like had to be beating like burgers all the, all fight week to get
Yeah.
to make
So
weight.
yeah. So what's gonna happen? Like, fight at 155? Connor's not going down to 145. He can't.
Yeah.
Insane, man. So it doesn't make sense in the first place. Yeah. What weight class? You can't even like figure it out. It doesn't make sense for Frankie. It's a
Yeah.
fun fight. Maybe he's crazy enough to do it and just get like a payday, but I
Yeah,
mean,
I guess the
I
reason I'm like most confused, not confused, but like perplexed by it, because I'm like, does this sell pay-per-views? I mean, I know Connor sells pay-per-views with anybody, but it's like, this is gonna be a main event, really? Like, if Connor's gonna be in a main event, I feel it should be Gagey or Poirier, like an action fight. Not that Frankie's not an action fighter, not that he can't win, but it's like, come on, I've seen this in boxing. This is called a tune-up fight. And I hate when they do that. Like, there's tuna fights, but then there's tuna fights that are pay-per-views and that are on big, you know, channels like HBO and shit. It's like, come on, man. Like, why are we glorifying this so much?
well, they can't give him Gaethje. They won't match them up.
I'm just surprised Connor just isn't going for it. I mean, it sounds like he really wanted to fight Masvidal. I mean, Dana can say whatever he wants about he's too big and this and that, but it sounds like Connor really wanted to do it. So it's like, I don't know.
Somebody's watching him. Somebody's looking after him, of course. So Gaethje's a dangerous fight. There's too many things going on with Khabib and Tony. They gotta figure their shit out, right? That's going on.
Yeah.
Dustin, that looks good too. I wouldn't mind watching that again. It's they're two different guys. They're two different fighters.
Yeah, it'll be so interesting. It'll be one of these like Demetrius Johnson and Henry Cejudo. The rematch was so different than their first fight. I think
Mhm.
this would be similar. It's like, yeah, that's the way that Johnson demolished Cejudo. I mean, that's very similar to how McGregor demolished Poirier in the first fight, but this one is like, yeah, I expect it to be a war, just like Cejudo and Johnson was.
Yeah, so I mean, they could do Dustin. That I think that makes more sense than this Frankie one. I mean, that Frankie fight was ages ago when they first talked about it, or they were teasing it or whatever. Like that's when, yeah, he was at 145.
Yeah, that was after he beat Aldo. It's like, oh, his next title defense has to be Frankie, and then Dos Anjos happened, and AD happened, and yeah. And then
Oh,
Idol Portal happened. Yeah, I brought him up on Twitter the other day.
that's
I do not
right.
call him by his real name. He is Idol Portal.
God, it seems like it's been so long.
I miss those days in a weird way. You guys know I'm here for the shit show. That was a fucking shit show and a half. Those are good times for all the wrong reasons. Anyway, moving on. No more headlines. Let's get into some matchups, and we got quite a few this week. Let's start with. I guess we'll go from the small fights to the bigger fights. Randall Marcos is stepping in for Jan Jonan. I believe that's how you say it. Again, she's stepping in for her. She got hurt. She's replacing her, and she's gonna fight Ashley Yoder at UFC Singapore. I don't remember the last time Ashley Yoder fought, but I know she'd been impressing people as of late. And Marcos just beat.
Didn't she just lose to Claudia?
Or when was the Angela Hill fight? I think the Angela Hill fight was before that. When it was after that one? No.
It was
She's.
before.
Oh. Oh, okay. Oh yeah, you
Yeah,
might be right. Yeah, you might be right. Yeah, I think you're
yeah.
right. So I mean, she Marcos is kind of usually this girl. She rarely pulls out of fights, and it seems like she steps in, no problem. So her and Yoder, I think it's a good matchup, like similar. Uh, similar spot in the rankings, so it'll be a good fight. Next up, well, it's basically all big fights from here. So the last event of the year has been announced. It's going to happen in Busan, South Korea. And the main event is going to be the Korean Zombie, of course, versus Brian Ortega, finally.
Crickets, crickets.
Do
We
not
didn't even talk about him, man.
do not act like this is not a goddamn ridiculous fight.
Yeah, it's a good fight. But we forgot to talk about him too and his antics at UFC
Okay,
Mexico.
okay.
I forgot to ask you about it.
To be fair, the whole him and Kane yelling puto.
Yeah, I forgot to
Okay,
ask.
so I didn't see what was happening in the cage. And for some reason, I don't think it was Steven's fight. Or at least, I don't think they were directing it at him. That would seem really weird to direct it at a fellow fighter. I don't remember what they said, but like the way that I remember it, it seemed like they were saying it kind of like as a joke. Because, like I mentioned earlier, puto is a word that, yes, usually it can be used as a gay slur, but it can also mean like motherfucker. And I mean, for God's sakes, we even say things like putazos, like, oh, those guys are throwing putazos, like hard haymaker punches, like we say putazos. And puta is whore in Spanish. So it's like, it's kind of like a man whore is just like a guy that'll fuck anything, and that can be extended to women or women that'll fuck anything. So it's not necessarily just used as a gay slur. It's just kind of an insult in general. So I don't know what that was about. I really hope it wasn't aimed towards Stevens because that was basically just repeating what the crowd was saying to him, and that's not cool at all. But yeah, that was weird. That was weird seeing the fake Mexicans be all up front for this shit. And honestly, I shouldn't talk shit about Ortega like that. At least he speaks better Spanish than Kane. But, you know, he doesn't exactly fit the look.
Interesting. Yeah, I saw that. There was a video released of them just like acting like fools up front. And I'm like, it's not cool to be doing that to a fellow
And
fighter.
and Kane came with this fucking wrestling mask. Man, okay, let's talk about Kane for a second. Have you seen how people have been marking out for his wrestling fucking gimmick?
Oh yeah, I've seen it.
Doing backflips and shit in the ring and all this shit. And
Pretty
well,
fucking amazing performances.
I,
How?
no doubt here, but why the fuck can't he fight?
Right. How? How is it possible that he can do all these amazing things
He
in that
literally
kind of
can't.
ring, but he can't fight? Like, what the fuck is going on? And he's only doing it for like a few months.
He
He's
literally
only been
can't even go
training.
for a single leg. He couldn't do a fucking
Yeah,
double leg against Ngannou. Yeah, Ngannou hits like a truck. Yeah, he hurt him bad. But he fell to his knees and fucking injured himself. What the
I don't get it. How did
wrestling?
he go from that to wrestling? Actually, he was training to do all this. I think like before all this was happening, like the training camp for Francis, he was training to be a wrestler too.
That's the crazy thing too, is that he's doing actual like lucha libre, like Mexican lucha libre, which is very athletic. I thought I didn't know much about the promotion, so I thought they'd probably be going more of a WWE route and be a lot more like what is it like promos and spots and the drama, the whole drama aspect of it, you know.
Yeah.
But no, he's going all in and like the typical luchador shit. And I'm like, dude, like good on you, but where the fuck is this? Right. He threw one spinning wheel kick at Travis Brown, and like that's like the most athletic thing he's ever done in his UFC career, and can't keep healthy to fucking save his life. And I wish I could pull a line of the whole wrestling's fake thing, but the shit that he's doing is not fake. He's pulling off all these moves for real with no assistance.
Yeah. Insane. How? He is a big dude with a fucked up back. No, he doesn't look like that at all.
And to be fair, guys like Jeff Hardy, I think Jeff Hardy is like just as big as him. Some of these wrestlers that we look at is kind of like the smaller, more athletic guys are actually like 6'2". It's just that there's so many gigantic guys in wrestling. It's like in basketball too. There's certain guys when you look at them on the court, they're like 6 foot, 6'1", and you look at them and they're like, damn, those guys are tiny. Well, that's only because everyone else around them 6'9". So of course they're gonna look small, but I don't get it. That I don't. You think he's just going all in with the wrestling now? I don't know what fans want to see him in MMA anymore. And
He
I
said
think
he
that
wanted to come back to fight.
I really
Yeah.
think that Ngannou fight put a fucking nail in the coffin of the shit that I've been saying for years, that he is not the best heavyweight ever, that he's not even the number two best heavyweight ever. And then especially Stipe beating DC, and then just GC in general. It's like, dude, those are the best heavyweights. It's basically Stipe, DC, Verdum, and Fedor. Switch the order however you want. But Kane is not in the top two nor three. He beat a few good guys and got injured, but people were like, oh, but what if he didn't get injured? Dude, he got injured, doesn't matter. He still only had like 3 fights in like 10 years.
Well.
Anyway, off of my soapbox.
Oh yeah, we're talking about
Yeah, we were talking about
Korean zombie and
Ortega, yes.
Ortega in Korea. So yeah, that's cool. They
But
finally boost that.
a Mexican versus a Korean, always a good time, always fun.
Yeah.
I've seen it so many times, and it's always awesome. So
Yeah, Ortega's traveling for this one instead of going, and actually signing for the Mexico card. But yeah,
yeah,
that's a
last
different
fight of the
topic.
year, and it could still be fight of the year. So yeah, that could be dope as hell. So let's get into the heavy hitting stuff. Max Holloway versus Alex Volkanovski has been signed and is going to take place at UFC 245. That is the T-Mobile card on December 14th. I don't know if it's a main event or a co-main event, and we'll talk about both right now. And the reason I'm not sure is because it looks like Kamaru Usman versus Colby Covington has been all but signed and should also take place at 245. So let's just get into it, Irene. So if you had your way, so we got Colby and Usman, Holloway, Volkanovski, and Nunes, Durandamy. What's main, what's co-main, and what's below that to
God
you?
damn. I don't know now. Usman and Kobe. If they were in the picture, I would have said Amanda main, Max co-main.
What do you mean in the picture?
If Usman and Kobe weren't in the picture,
Oh, weren't.
the,
I thought you said
yeah,
were. Huh? Oh, okay.
no, if they were in the picture, I would have said like Amanda and Max. Amanda's fight main and then Max's fight co-main. But now this is in the picture. But I don't know.
I know this is gonna sound kind of, I don't know.
They don't really sell though, right?
Well,
Kobe's in
there's
a weird
that.
space too.
There's that, and I'm not even saying this of some stuff that we brought up before, but I mean, I guess I'll just say it. I'll just ask it. Is it a good idea to have Colby in the main event? I mean, I know by not having him in the main event, you're kind of fucking Usman, but is that either worth a risk of maybe not getting as many buys because it seems like everyone wants to say he's a star when he's not, but also just like, do you really want that at the top of the card, especially if Colby wins? Like, that's gonna be such a fucking
Horrible.
yeah. I don't
You're feeding
know.
the beast.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't think I'm down with that.
Well, his numbers weren't great for the Newark card. So we know that. We already have that data.
There's some
So would it be?
caveats there because it was early in the day and whatnot, but yeah,
Well,
we gotta
but
go off. You gotta go
yeah,
off with the numbers. You do.
right. So look at just hard numbers. He didn't do great. We have that data. Would it be a bad idea? The last fight in Vegas? Yeah, that's taking a chance.
And
So
then
maybe he would be like, it would be Amanda, and then yeah,
and I
Max,
know I know
Usman.
you talk about this a little bit more than me, but I gotta keep it
Hmm.
real here.
Hmm.
Regards to Colby, they're really looking at Trump right now for the impeachment stuff, and I don't personally think it's gonna go anywhere. But I really got scared shitless when I heard that because I was like, man, if you thought those motherfuckers were bad and racist before, check them out now because they got nothing to hold back now. the people are gonna be fucking pissed in the next coming months, and if what we're considering of what we've been thinking about is true, that he's gonna bring in the wrong people. Oh man, yeah, this can be UFC 229 all over again. It really could. I'm really not trying to be hyperbolic here, but I think there's going to be a lot of tension in the air in the next few months. I don't think 2019, I don't think has been a great year in general. And personally speaking, I can say that it was not a great year for me. But I think 2019 is going to be a year that we all kind of choose to forget. And then if shit's going the way it is going, it's probably going to say the same for MMA as far as some of the shit shows that have happened. It's going to make Mexico City look like a fucking picnic.
Oh God.
I really mean that. I wish I wasn't trying to bring it here, but I really do mean that. And honestly,
No,
if I was Dana, I know he's a Trump guy and all that shit, but I'd really be looking at that like, dude, these might be the main event, but I don't think I can do it.
I kind of felt that with this Mexico City, fight that
What it,
just happened and just this
what
whole
it meant?
political, like, this division. So we already had that layer, right?
Yeah.
And then now here's another one,
Well, to be fair, I mean,
possibly.
it's not okay. Maybe you and I kind of expected some fuckery at UFC Mexico City, but I think Dana and company were all aboard. Like, oh, it'll be fun. The Mexican fans are great. They're so kind. They're so respectful. Yeah, you hadn't seen them when other fighters start losing and some bullshit happens in the main event. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
Yeah, I mean, as I said in the beginning, this is their fault. This is the reason I get mad is that they're casting this picture. And like I said, people were kind of hating on me and telling me shit after the fight, and I tell them like, "Come on, you're lying if you didn't want to get a wheelbarrow of bricks and go down to San Diego after you saw that shit. Say what you want about Trump or not. You wanted to wear a MAGA hat for a quick second there.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, they brought that on themselves. That's what I'm saying. Like, dude, I don't say what you want about Trump. At the end of the day, they're judging us really harshly, yes, but if they have nothing to judge us for, what the fuck can they say? They make some points sometimes, unfortunately, and then you go and prove them right. There's nothing that pisses me off more than when people are talking mad shit about you and you go and prove them right, whether it's in a personal context or in a stereotypical racist context. It's not fucking good. But well, I guess I'll go along with that one. So as obviously I don't want Colby in the main event for a few reasons, but I think Amanda needs to be at the top of the bill, even with these fights. I mean, she fought Holly Holm, yeah, under John Jones, yes, a great card, but it was the co-main event, and like I know she's not gonna go over John Jones. Granted, I mean I'll give him that respect. He's obviously a big star, but I love Holloway, but he's not the biggest star. Usman or Colby aren't the biggest stars. Volkanovski, I mean, he's got fans, but it's not like they're having this in Australia or nothing. I think Nunes is the girl. I think you got to give her some shine. I think you really just got to stop. I mean, she was the goat, and people still had doubts. Her beating Holly really cemented it for some other, the few nitwits that didn't get the fucking picture already. I think this should be hers. I think this should be her event.
I think so too. She deserves it. Just close it out with Amanda. I mean, she already the ESPN cover. She did that.
Right, damn, I almost forgot about that. Yeah.
She was at the SP Awards. She's had great performances. Like, just close it out with her being the main event.
And that's cool with Nunes too because like I mean it's the ESPN body issue. It's not like they have great athletes on there and they have like okay athletes on there. Sometimes they just go to girls for their sex appeal, you know. But that was so cool with Amanda because that was like the first time I feel that people went to someone not because of their looks, but because of their accomplishments. You know, Ronda, Misha, Karate Hottie, Connor, John Jones. I mean, it's a little bit different with the males, but you look at all the women that have been in body issue. They're all the most, what most people consider the usual attractive women in MMA. But with Amanda, they're just like, hey, she's the fucking greatest. It's not a thing of how she looks. It's just we want to give her the honor, you know.
Yeah. So I
But
hope it happens. I'm praying that it happens that way.
yeah, that'd be cool. So what? Really, I mean, Usman at the bottom, right? I mean, it should be
Yeah.
Amanda
Yeah.
Main, Holloway co-main, and Usman. Yeah, that sucks for Usman, but it might have to be that way.
Yeah, he won't get any pay-per-view points or anything.
Yeah, at that point, I don't think so. But yeah, I mean, they may have to prove themselves a little bit more too. So I'm
Hmm.
not mad at that. At least Holloway and Amanda have been defending their belts.
Oh man, that's so crazy that they didn't take the MSG fight. They had the MSG fight in the bag, but they couldn't come to terms. So what can you do? Usman
Oh
versus
yeah,
Colby.
Usman and Woodley. Yeah. I was about to say Woodley. Yeah, Colby. Yeah,
Yeah,
but yeah, it happens.
that would have been a huge payday because they would have been the main pay-per-view points.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Well, you gotta strike while the iron's hot. It's been a bit of an extended episode, so thank you guys for joining us. Thank you for surviving through my rants. Please read my article if you can. I'd really appreciate it. Again, you can find my stuff so far. I'm at Combat Press, but you can find me as always online on Twitter and Instagram at Juice_MMA. How about you, Rain?
Fox with you at Instagram and Twitter. Sorry, I'm like yawning at the same time. It's almost 1 o'clock.
Yeah, we really went long with this one.
Sorry, I'm like,
No, we did. But it'll be up shortly. And yeah, thank you guys for listening. And we'll catch you all next week.